You're full. We're live on the day of net neutrality. We might not be broadcasting anymore. Might be over. I don't know how that works.
I don't know either.
When does it kick in?
Right away. I don't know. I have no idea. Probably
That's a
takes
great thing
month.
about it. By the way, has there ever been a harder time to be a citizen? Meaning, it's just how much? I never had to pay this much attention.
I know, right?
Come on, it's like fucking. We have to babysit. It's like their children that we have to wait. What are they doing? No. Where they used to kind of be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Or
and
seemingly could.
There's not one place where you can go where you can get one. Are you shaking that before you open it?
Should
You're
I not
a
shake
fucking
it?
maniac.
Bro, I don't give a
That
fuck.
shit's gonna explode all over the
All
place.
right, then I'll give it a
Yeah, you
second.
gotta let that fucker rest. The worst ones are those little small ones that I have, those cayenne cleanses. You shake those bitches, they just fucking shoot up to the ceiling.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's all fermented. It's
Yeah.
all carbonated,
Yeah.
But there's no one source where you can absolutely get 100% unbiased factual information as the news. Everything is leaning one way or leaning another way. And even CNN, which I used to trust all the time, they fuck up all the time. They're always having to print retractions. There was something that was going around today. It's just, there's not one news source where I can say, please just give me the unbiased information with no left or right lean. Can I get that?
Which we talked about beforehand. When there's even the idea of the New York Times, what people don't understand is people don't understand journalism a lot of the time. Literally when people go, it's fake news, it's you can't print fake news because you ever have anything in the New Yorker? You ever be quoted in a New Yorker article? They literally, you talk to the journalist, then two different fact checkers call you to confirm what you said. And is this true?
Right.
Is this, and this is in an article about someone else that I gave a quote for. And did you say that? And you can confirm that? And they do that. They do that at every major journalistic outfit. They do. The New York Times, Washington Post, name the big ones. They all have. They're not as stringent as the New Yorker because the New Yorker only comes out once a week. But they all have fact checkers, and they can get. And the thing is, these institutions can get sued.
Right. This is not a good example, but it's an example. The Conor McGregor fight. New York Times wrote an article about the Conor McGregor fight, and one of the things they said that he was covered in blood and rescued by the referee before he fell through the ropes. I contacted them on Twitter and I said, in this day and age, you can't say things that everyone knows are false.
Yeah.
Millions of people watched that fight. There was no blood.
Yeah.
He was not falling through the ropes. The referee rescued him. You made that up. He was outclassed and battered by a far superior boxer, which is what most boxing people expected. That's the real story.
Yeah.
But you guys added a bunch of shit to it.
Yeah.
So they
That's
retracted
shading.
it.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But it's not just shading. It's it's a straight lie. I know it's not because it's not really.
It doesn't. There's no loser.
It's inconsequential. It's not a really significant moment.
Anything,
it's not like a big moment in time and the result is the same. But their description of the result makes you wonder, how much other things do you do this to? How many other subjects do you flavor in this weird way?
What was their retraction? Because I remember seeing you write that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And they changed it.
But they still used hyperbole even in their retraction. They said his face was completely swollen. It wasn't. It wasn't.
A quadrant of his face was swollen.
A tiny amount, a little bit of swelling from a boxing match. Not some crazy fucking Hasim Rahman shit. Where his head, remember that one? Where had an iron on his head.
Literally maybe the craziest thing I've ever seen in a fight.
It was disgusting. This huge hematoma growing out of his forehead. See if you could find that.
Yes.
Hasim Rahman. Lennox Lewis, right? Wasn't it the Lennox Lewis fight? No.
I don't remember. But yeah, it was he literally had to go to Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, Dr. Pimple Popper. That's hilarious. That was grotesque.
That was a wild.
Yeah, that was an enormous swelling in his head.
He looks like a war criminal and an alien. Which is hard to do.
Yeah, so if that, his face is
I
completely
don't
swollen.
disagree that they do shade invariably.
But you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should tell the exact story. The exact story was really clear for everybody that watched, the 2 million people plus that watched it on pay-per-view or more. it wasn't something that you can get away with bullshitting about.
Okay, but this wasn't a problem 5 years ago? Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem day to day. And that's
Right.
the thing that I was yelling at somebody yesterday of like once Fox News created this thing of like extremely shaded shit, and people saw that there's a market for it. They were like, all right, we'll do that. Like, we'll all do that now.
Yeah.
And then everyone's reacting, but they don't think they're reacting. And now the New York Times is trying to go the other way, where they hired this guy Brett Stevens to write op-ed pieces, and every week there's a new, like, what did you just say? Like,
Really?
because they're trying to be kind of moderate or see both sides. And a lot of people on the left are going like, but how are you seeing both sides to like slavery? Or how are you seeing, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Right.
what's both sides of climate change? Like,
Right.
It's all, there's scientists and not scientists. That's like, those are the sides. So why are you, this is basically appeasement. I guess as a consumer of this stuff, it's when I was to get into this conversation, I wasn't even talking about journalism. I was talking about government. I was talking about the amount of fucking work it takes just to be like, I got to worry about statutes and fucking the FCC and fucking executive orders and just like, I
Right.
never had to do all this.
Yeah.
Like, why is this so much? I don't know if it's, I mean, they would say like, to be an act of democracy, it's only as good as the citizens and all that shit. But it seems like we're all more involved and it's worse. You know what I mean? Like, it's way more upsetting. It's constant upset. Like, it feels like havoc every single day.